And, I always wanted to be a pro wrestler, like ever since I was a little kid. It was the point when I would do 3 practices a day with the pro team. You'd get up, you'd do light sparring, you come back, you'd lift weights, and then in the evening you do technique, and then you do hard sparring, sometimes 5 to 7 days a week, depending on how much you keep up with it. And I was coming home between practices and watching All Japan Pro Wrestling instead of fights. Nice. And I was like, I need to let my ego go on this and stop worrying about what people my whole life were going to be thinking of me not pursuing this, because everyone was telling me I was going to be world champion. Everyone was telling me, go to Vegas, you're going to fucking kill these guys. And I got there and I was like, I'm not enjoying this. And I would rather do what I want to do and not be concerned about how everyone else feels about it. And I went to FSW, and the first day I walked in, I knew it was over. I was hooked. And then I went from training like half the week MMA, half the week pro wrestling. And then the second week I was doing pro wrestling full time. That's all I needed to know. And that love of this has been with me since I was a little kid. So
how old were you when you went to your first wrestling training?
I was either 27 or 28.
Yeah. I got
prime of life, baby.
It's about, yeah. Rip, no matter how old you are, Rip says you're in the prime of life. You could be 90 and Rip say prime of life.
Hell, I'm 68, so compared to this, prime of life, baby.
Well, you are in the prime of life, though.
Oh, yeah.
Rip fell asleep on the bike today at the gym. I'm not supposed to tell anybody.
That was yesterday.
Oh, yesterday.
For 30 minutes.
30. So why do you think, you said maybe you're fighting even growing up. Why was wrestling not first? Why did you not? Because you were fighting at a younger age, you think, like the MMA style stuff, or
a couple of reasons. I mean, I was involved with martial arts, boxing, and wrestling through my family. My family was involved with it as well. They were training fighters, and like we watched it on TV, and everybody enjoyed it. But there was like a weird, misplaced macho thing going on in our family culture, where it's like, if you could do this for real, why the fuck would you let this guy beat you up? You could kill this guy. That's the way they looked at it. They were just like, you could fucking smash people's heads in for real. You want your grandfather to see you, in your underwear on TV, rolling around with these fucking idiots. Like, they had that sort of mentality towards it. Now, to me, it was just like, that's not the way I look at this. The way I look at this is this is a beautiful spectacle of 3 people in a ring. The whole building is just surrounded, like the Coliseum, like the storytelling, the spectacle, being able to elicit the emotional response. These are the things that were drawing me to it. I was magnetized to this as a kid and throughout my whole life. That's the way I looked at it. And I was aware that some people look at wrestling as just this big, ridiculous thing. And I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I like what I like, and it's not predicated on what other people like or their opinions. I didn't care. And so I didn't really have, I guess, the support as a young man from my core group to pursue wrestling. And I was also involved with bodyguarding. I was a director of nightlife security operations for the city of Las Vegas for a lot of nightclubs and stuff like that. I was running my own teams. I was hiring people. So I had money. But then, as I've said before, you get to a point in life, if you're financially comfortable, you're like, okay, I've got my finances in order. I'm from the working class. I came up in the way where you had to look at your checking account before you decide to go to fucking Starbucks or just spend money frivolously. Like, I measured every penny I had, and I was like, okay, I'm past that point now, and I'm not fulfilled. Like, I can do this bodyguard shit, and I could bounce, and I can run teams, and I could be a director for the rest of my life. Am I going to be happy doing that? It was sort of like the same measurement I took with MMA. And I was like, what did I want to do my whole life before all of these things that I've been involved with, began to pick up momentum? It was always wrestling. So that's pretty much why I was financially stable and comfortable. And honestly, I didn't think I was big enough to be the pro wrestler that I wanted to be growing up as well. Because
you are now.
Yeah, I am now. I was gigantic. They looked gigantic to me on television. I was like, if I became a wrestler, I would be like a guy who's getting the shit kicked out of him. And, like, I don't know how this sounds, but like, that's not the sort of career that I wanted to have. That was not the career I envisioned for myself, to be somebody who just got the shit kicked out of them for a living. Like, I would rather not do it. You know what I mean? That was just where I was at. So